Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. It's another episode of For the Love of Jayla. I know I've been MIA for the past couple weeks, but that's a good thing because I've been really busy in a great ways. And I just obviously want to welcome you. I'm Jayla, and I'm here with my special guest. We're just going to get out of the way. Normally, I take a minute to introduce our guest, but we're just going to do it now. I'm really excited to have you here. Thank you so much. The one and only author, poet, spoken word, creative, like all around awesome person, Chanel Leyva. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
What an introduction. Wow. What's up, everybody?
All right. So I guess let's I kick off the show with a segment every time I start it. It's one of my favorite segments. It's called El Chequeo. So El Chequeo is basically the highs and lows of the week. I haven't done a chequeo for a minute now because I've been gone for a couple weeks, which we'll talk a little bit more about after. But I guess I will kick it off with El Chequeo, and I will say that I'll kick it off with my low. My low is that tomorrow I actually have to have a procedure and anesthesia and all that doctor stuff. So I'm not really excited about it. I'm actually a little nervous, but I've been so busy I haven't had time to think about it. So, but my high is that I've had an awesome kind of like last 2 weeks.
Have you?
I have had an awesome last 2 weeks. Some amazing people came. Art Walk Miami. We had that Fame Show Miami that happened on South Beach for Art Basel weekend or Art Week Miami week. It was just awesome. The networking, the people, just everything, the whole experience all on its own. Definitely a learning experience, but an experience in itself. Met such amazing people, and I'm excited for what's to come out of it. I mean, for me, that was like, I met you there. And we like automatically kind of became family, and me and our mom I love your mom. Hi, mom, if you're watching. It's been awesome. It's been really exciting, and the transitions that had kind of been going on have been awesome. But Chanel, tell us before they get to know you a little bit more. Let's talk about your highs and your lows. What's your chequeo?
Let's start with the bad news, right? It's never bad news though. It's part of life. My low, let's see. I have to think about this. I would say let's start with the good and then I'll go into the bad, just because it intertwines. So I did Art Basel as well, and I was promoting my book. I'm not going to give too much information. Not just yet. But I had my mom here, and I hadn't seen her for over a year. And then I guess the low is having her leave back to New York. But I'm on the road right now, so just that would be my low for the week. And the high,
the
really.
High and the low, right?
Yeah, all together.
It was definitely, we brought up Miami Art Week and Basel, and you were a part of a couple shows.
Yes.
Let's start off before we jump into the shows and everything. Chanel, I'd love for you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, where you come from, what you're up to, where your track has been. Just let us know who Chanel Leyva is.
Yes. So obviously Chanel Leyva, and I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx, and I'm Dominican.
Hey.
I'm 25 years old, and I'm a writer.
You see, I always attract the Dominicans, guys.
She follows us, really. That's what it is. I'm a writer. I've been writing all my life, and that's just an outlet that I use to express myself when it comes to the artistic form of things. And I'm really excited to really share with the world. People always ask me what I write about. I never really know what to say because I do nonfiction. I just write about life, really, and I intertwine that with Christianity as well, just loving God and being very vocal about faith and an activist and all together and a hopeless romantic at the same time. So that's really what makes up Chanel.
So what got you started in this journey? Because, it's not like just saying, like, was it something you always kind of did growing up? Like, writing in your diary? Was it like, that aspect, or did one day it just kind of click, like, this is what I want to do, or this is what I'm meant to be doing? Like, how did your journey kind of like go about that way?
Ironically, I never really had a diary. I don't think I
or
did.
A journal, none of that.
Never. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because it wasn't until a few months back that I started journaling. But I've always written. I think that as many of us, we go through stuff growing up, and I kind of like just started embracing my writing. I think that from what I can remember vividly, it started when I was like in the 4th grade. Just there was always a lot of chaos in my house as far as like arguments between my parents, and I kind of used that outlet to write. And how I started really was composing music. I used to write songs, and I've written all my life. I don't, it's been like second nature to me. And I think now more than ever, I've just taken it to a whole new spectrum to share with the world.
What kind of songs? You mentioned, obviously, you started off a little bit with the songwriting. what kind of songs? Is there a specific genre? Did you go into,
yes.
Were you more Taylor Swift or Romeo Santos? Where are we falling in the spectrum of songwriting here?
I think more Taylor Swift. I've always written about love. I mean, ask me, did I know what love was at 4th grade or 5th grade? You would think I knew by the way that I was writing, but yes, I've always been inclined to R&B. And so that's really, even like my poetry, when you hear it, it gives you that R&B jazzy vibe. So that's really what I focused on. I focused on love. Yeah.
So you started, obviously, like you said, songwriting. The songwriting obviously started developing into something bigger and different, and you grew with that. Where was that next point where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do more of this, or people were noticing it? Like, were you like going to spoken words? Were you, going to speakeasies, or you go open mics, like anything like that? Or was it just kind of like snowballed, like, or one person heard it and it was just like, oh, you should kind of keep doing this?
Well, funny enough, the way that I actually started to introduce it to the world was at church. And it's funny because you wouldn't really necessarily expect that, but the way I started, whenever there was like a special event happening, I would just write. Like, I would write certain things. I would do spoken words about God, just kind of like sharing the love of God for people and who he is. And so I would just have a platform there. And that's really how I started, like actually sharing it with others besides myself. That's how it started. It just started at church, where I would just do spoken word. And from there, it just, what really did it when I started to share it outside of that was there was a lot of stuff happening in my personal life as far as like my family, and it took a toll on me. And I just decided that I wanted to focus on my passion, and it really took off for me. I mean, from one day to another, I just started having all these shows and started posting. And I will always post on my Instagram, just here and there, like small modern poetry, which is short, and it just took off. And then here we are. It happened really fast.
How do you brace yourself for something like that? You know what I mean? Like, when things do start happening fast, because some, you hear different, everybody has a different kind of story. For some people, it takes 20 years. For other people, it takes 10 months or 5 months, or you just never know. You know what I mean? Within 5 years or a year or two, things just progressively go from 0 to 60, like they say.
Yeah.
You know, how do you prep yourself for the unknown of those, like, of that nature?
I don't think you necessarily prep yourself. I think that if somehow uh, God thinks you're ready for something, the door opens wide. And I know I need to be careful when I say that, because a lot of people, they think that just because the door is open, then that means they need to walk in it. But
just because the door is open doesn't mean you have to walk in it.
That's right.
That is, I mean, those are some really strong words, because it's true, because they tell you, you know, you always hear the saying, you know, if one door, you know, closes, another 1,000 doors will open. All right, which one of those 1,000 doors is going to be the right one? Like,
exactly. And I think being mindful and having the maturity that you need, especially in the showbiz, because when it comes to artistic things, it all falls together. It's not just being a singer or a rapper. And so I don't think I was ready. And even now, as I'm even answering your question, I haven't really had a moment to sit down and really think about it. But I think that I waited my turn. And I think that's why everything's happening so fast. But I would just say, like, even if you're not prepared for something, don't jump into something if you feel that it's not the right time. But at the same time, don't be fearful about it. I think just being cautious, being yourself, and having your passion in the forefront of things, that will continue to lead you into the right direction.
I like that. I know you mentioned a little bit about how your a lot of your writing has to do with love, and obviously, I want to bring up the book because I love the title of it.
Yeah.
The Things I Never Said.
Yes.
Which I think was one of the first things I remember when we started talking, just totally like captivated me. Because I was just like, that title is so enticing. Like,
it is.
It's like, oh, well, what are you talking about? Like, well, I haven't said a lot of things. So done. But, you know, tell us a little bit more about the book and how it came to life, and, you know, why'd you name it that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show the book just to give people an image. You can see right here, kind of, right? Well, let's start with the cover, because I think that I was very detailed about this book. It's obviously my first book, but as far as the writing in the book goes, I would, every time I was, well, before I say this, let me just tell you what the book is about, and then I'll go into details of it. The Things I Never Said. The reason why I titled the book The Things I Never Said is because I feel like we end up in relationships and we often restrain ourselves from really being vulnerable and expressing what we really want to say, right? And so I didn't have the title until I got together with my graphic designer when I was giving him the idea or the vision for the book cover. And so he was asking me, obviously, what's the title of the book, so that he can put it and add it in there to give me the format for it. And so I was like, The Things I Never Said. I was just like, well, these are the things I never told these men. And so that's really how I came up with it.
That's really dope. Because I mean, I feel like a lot of us as like women, like, we fall into that situation very often. It's like, there are things I wish I said that I didn't say, whether it was just because you knew reactions, or you knew, how people just get.
It's just the fear.
Or even just a simple fear of saying, because it works on both ends, whether you're being hurt or you're hurting.
Right.
And I think that that's also really hard for people to understand.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it works both ways. I mean, I hopefully not. I mean, I've met some really cruel people out in this world, but at least for myself, I'll speak for myself at least. Like, my intention is never to hurt anybody. Like, like ever. Obviously life happens and things happen and situations get weird, or they get, crappy, and things happen, and you kind of got to, like, bite the bullet in a sense and figure out, how do I handle this situation as delicately as possible, as respectfully as possible too, because I think that plays a big part of it too, on how you handle it and how you respect the other person, regardless of, it's going to hurt. Some truths just hurt.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. And it became funny. It's like, it became a whole movement of the things I never said. And so now I'm here, like, I remember even for Art Basel, I had this interactive wall that said the things I never said so that people can write the things they never said. And so when it comes to writing, and even writing for other people, how I see my form of writing is I'm the megaphone to an unheard generation. And so the book itself talks about 5 different relationships. It takes you into the Eros kind of love. And for those who don't know what that means, it means there's different forms of love that the Bible talks about. And so it all comes back to the Bible. People think that when you mention the Bible, automatically people think of religion, right? And it's not to be blamed, but God, he created everything, and including love for affection towards a person. And there is different loves. There's the philos, which is you have that love towards a friend. And then there's the eros, which is the love between a man and a woman. And then there's the agape love, which is the unconditional love of God. And so when you look into this, which is the eros kind of love between a man and a woman, I really wanted to express everything I didn't say. But the book, more than it being a poetry collection altogether, it narrates a story. And each chapter is a relationship, but it takes you into the different forms of personalities. It takes you into different traumas. It takes you from toxicity to being in love and all the in between. But it's a self-reflective book as well. It's not pointing fingers only, but it's also taking responsibility for hurting other people. And I think it's you can even learn from it.
That's really powerful, though. To take that account, not only the accountability, but to be self-aware. I think it takes a lot of self-awareness in certain situations that, you have to be like, yo, I was the one who messed this up. Like, I wasn't, whether it was mentally there or, physically prepared or whatever it may be. I think that definitely happens. But a lot of the times it's very unspoken.
Yes.
It's kind of just left there. And especially now, you brought up something earlier about just being in relationships, and even in the world that we live in right now, you mentioned even a relationship. Right now, people don't even have relationships anymore. They're all situationships, unfortunately. People don't get to even know each other before they sleep with each other.
Yeah.
People sleep on the first night, but you don't even know each other's last names. You don't know what's up with their family members. You don't know, what they're going through in their lives. You just don't know anything about anybody anymore. And it's really unfortunate. So I think that what you're saying, when you said earlier, that it's that part where getting to know each other and communicate, that communication part of things is very important for sure. Especially nowadays, it's missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a missing art.
Yeah.
It's like cursive and handwriting.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of times, I think even for our generation, when we look back, our parents, or even further than that, our grandparents, we think about their relationship and how in the world they last the years that they've lasted. And I think that more than people mistake love, I think more than love being the affection or the actual feeling, it's a choice. Because what happens when two come together and they become accustomed to each other? Do you decide to just give up? And I feel like our generation lacks that essence of, I love you so much that I'm going to push through.
But I think that unfortunately in this generation, you're right. But not only does it happen in relationships, it happens in friendships.
Yeah, all times.
Literally, things are good and dandy.
Yeah.
You can hang out every day, have a good year, and then the one time you have an argument or a disagreement, or you guys just don't agree on one thing, it's a wrap. You never speak again. You don't even acknowledge that it happened, and everybody just keeps it moving.
Yep.
And it just doesn't make sense. That's not how friendships work. That's not how family works. That's not how love works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes communication. It takes, two people finding a way. It's like, hey, look, these are my flaws. Like, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. I want to work on it. I would like to work on it with you.
And accepting them.
Yeah. And not maybe even accepting, because I think that you don't have to, there's some things that people do need to change.
Boundaries.
And I don't think that there's things that people should just accept.
Right. No.
I definitely think that finding an understanding.
Right.
And a place of, okay, how can we grow, or how can this, because that might be an issue for me.
Right.
How can we grow in this together? And I think that that's important, again, but that also takes a lot of accountability and self-awareness. You need to know what your own flaws are.
Right.
You need to know what you're capable, because if you're completely blinded and somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I don't like your yellow wall. And it's like, well, the wall's orange.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, no, it's yellow. And it's like, no, it's orange.
And I think tolerance too. We lack tolerance. That word itself has such a bad connotation.
Sure does.
But hear me out. When I say tolerance, it means what you're willing to tolerate. And it could be the same as compromise. That is where we lack, especially in this day and age, is the just that point of like, okay, how much am I willing to push through until the person changes, or how much am I willing to accept until we come together? Because you have to understand, even like not just relationships, even though the book is about actual relationships, even with friendships, with even like with family relationships, I think that just the essence of like, okay, I love this person, I'm gonna be there for this person. We lack that. Mm-hmm. We lack like, okay, being there, because we think it's like that self-righteous approach, really, like, okay, like I'm this way, or because I'm a higher level than you, then I feel like I don't have to wait for you to change, or I don't have to put up with this. And that's what we lack, and that's why our generation's messed up.
It's not only the generation, I think a lot of it too, like, sometimes a lot of the culture stuff comes into it as well.
Yes.
The machismo, the womanly titles and positions, mm-hmm. and, the finding an actual equal. Because I think that makes a huge difference, because they're, unfortunately, as much as many men want to say they're not machista, unfortunately, they are. And, just like the same way they want their woman to do certain things, the same way women want their men to do certain things as well, which we live in a world where a lot of that doesn't really exist anymore in a weird sense. So it's finding that boundary, finding, that compatibility, finding that, person that you're willing to like get uncomfortably okay with growing.
Yeah.
I think that that's something very
rare.
And it's something that a lot of people, and it's very uncomfortable to be with somebody or to be around people who like intimidate you.
Yeah.
Because it happens in friendships too.
Yeah.
People that are,
sure.
Like they say, it's about your circle. That's going to lead to, and I posted that something on my IG stories earlier today, where it's like, about the circle you lead in, and it's like, where that future goes, and how they treat you and all of that. So I think that definitely is something that at least I've been noticing that it's just really important.
Yeah.
But all of that also comes with that communication and key.
And I'm no therapist, but I know that even with writing this book, once people have it in their hands, they're going to probably think like I'm the love doctor or something. But I think it's important to talk about these things, because we lack, and I'm just gonna, I always reference back to my generation, because obviously like it's generation that I'm living in, we just touch the surface of things and in everything, not just love, but we just touch the surface. And what happens is that the heart carries everything. We're made in we're like a tripart as well, which is it's body, soul, and spirit. And so deeper than the heart is the soul. And so I think there is a lot of hidden things. And I think that people are afraid to talk about stuff that they've gone through. I think it's very important to heal. We don't heal and then we just jump from one relationship to another and then we treat all of them the same. And I think that.
What do you think? Sorry to interrupt, but like in the sense of, I think you bring up a very valid point, but I feel like there's two sides to that. Because a lot of people also use the excuse as, oh, I'm healing. I don't want to do anything or be in anything or be, and I feel like there are certain type of people that do better during their healing process, not with help, but it's like, when you go bowling and the gutters are up.
Yeah.
The bumpers are up.
Is that you?
Is that
you? Are you trying to tell us?
I am a mother of a 6-year-old who doesn't use the bumpers anymore. But no, like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people need the bumpers, like, our training wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what how do you see that being a balance? Like, do you think that it is a possibility that people could heal together? Because nobody ever fully heals through things.
Yeah.
100% at least.
Right.
And if you have healed 100%, please let me know. I need to know the key.
Look, I feel that, again, I'm always going to say what I'm going to say. And I reference the word of God a lot because it all falls back to that. It's the cord of life, really. Not the word, but God himself, because we were created from him and through him, right? And so I think when it comes to healing, a lot of people think they can heal on their own. And you don't necessarily have to wait for someone to heal. You have to it's like learning the room, right? You have to be able to discern when you have to be there and when you don't. So taking healing as an excuse is never going to work. And what I mean by that is people need to heal from something before they jump into that familiarity, which is like, if I know that I attract a certain type of person, it's because obviously I carry that certain type of thing. And so you have to just auto-examine yourself and ask God to help you heal. So you never heal on your own. True healing, which I've experienced it myself, not just like in relationships, but even like healing from like losing someone, a family member. I can honestly say that you can have that true healing, but rushing the process of things, that's where most of us are, right? And so
realistically, nobody wants to feel pain,
right?
So you just want to
it's inevitable. And so I feel that if you know that someone is in a bad place, and let's say like relationships, because that's what we're talking about, I don't think that you should if that relationship is hurting you because that person is in such a dark place, you shouldn't have to say. And I've experienced people where they think I'm bad because I don't want to stay. But it's like, if you're hurting me, you're hurting both of us, the relationship is going to be worse. Yeah. So they gaslight you and try to convince you or make you feel guilty because you decided you don't want to stay. So
I think there's definitely
it's such a difference. Line.
I think, and there's also, like we said earlier, a difference between people who want to be helped, who want to grow, who want to heal, and those who don't, who want to live in the victimized situation. Yeah. Those who want to live at what I love to call the pity pool of death. Because that's what it is. You sit in a pity pool and you just prune. You're just like a big old victim. And you know what I mean? Nothing ever changes. It's the same vicious circle over and over and over again. And it's you get to that point. So obviously these stories in your book, The Things I Never Said, which is out now. You guys can go get your copies. We'll let you know where you can go get your copy. Obviously, you said there come from personal. Oh, God. Did I say that? I asked you before. Is there anything I can't ask? And you let me ask this. So,
did I say that?
That they come from, some personal stuff. One of the things I like about the book is the way that it's set up.
Okay.
So obviously not everybody has a copy, but if you could tell us a little bit about the setup, because it's very unique, which is something that I really liked about it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
So, and by setup, you mean like just the way that
the book is
the
set
book
up.
itself?
Yeah, the book itself, because the chapters, they're in chapters, but not in chapters. So
yeah.
Talk to us about the chapter, not chapters.
Okay, so I really have fun with this book, and I'm a very intimate person, and so I'm very selective with the people that I choose to work with or even be around in my personal life. So the book, it's 5 chapters. And you'll be able to know that there's 5 chapters because I put a really cool thing in it. So as you're accustomed to know, that books, for those who read,
do you know what chapter this is, guys?
And I'll let them know in a minute. You know that books usually, obviously, when you're going from one chapter to another, you'll know that you're transitioning to another chapter because it says chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Right? Well, my book, instead of actually having the chapters numbered, what I did was the book itself, the pages are white, but the black page, you'll see 5 black pages parting each chapter, and it's what gives away the transition of every chapter. And it was actually, I was sitting with my little brother and we were brainstorming, and I said I want to put a symbol that describes the relationship or the person. And so how do we break that apart for people to actually know? My brother said, put the page black of every transition. So shout out to my little brother. He was the one who gave me the idea of the black pages. So the black pages are the transitions of every chapter. And in the black page, you will find a symbol that represents the relationship and the person. So and so I think it's pretty cool, and I think people are gonna like it. And if you ever steal my idea, give me credit. And so it's modern poetry, and modern poetry just simply means that there's short poems. But the way that I did it, I wanted to narrate the story. I wanted that when someone reads it, they see that it intertwines all together. So I made it fun for people.
Talk to me about the art.
The art, yes.
How though?
So like I said, this is my baby, right? And I feel like every book is going to be my baby just because I always put my heart in it. But the actual art, what I did was, once I had the actual book in order, I chose an image that would describe the poem. And so I put it right below to give it more feelings when people fall
and
into
these are yours, right?
What exactly?
The drawings?
I don't draw, but I actually just just went online. Really, I went online and I looked up images, and I just put it in there. But they're mine because I bought it.
No, I mean, like, but even the thought of it, of, like, they're very, like personal. You said, like, they're very personalized. Like,
yes.
You could feel
I went through every image and selected what I wanted. So I really put my heart into it, every detail from front to back. I put everything from the book cover. And I want to talk about the book cover because it is the foundation of the actual book. It is a heart, and in the center of the heart is a jasmine flower. And that's one of my favorite flowers. And for those who don't know what a jasmine flower is, it actually represents romance, sensuality. And because of the strong smell, it represents purity. And so
I love the smell of jasmine.
It symbolizes everything that bursts out of the heart.
Love it. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, God.
I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to read. Can you read us a little something?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have something you have in mind, or
from the book or outside?
Whatever you want. It's your episode. You do whatever you want. I'm just here to navigate the ship. Tell the captain where to go.
Well, I actually wrote something yesterday, and I'll share it with you guys, and then maybe I'll read like one poem out of the book.
You wrote this one yesterday?
I did. So my brain just
was it before or after the soup that I made you? I want to know if you're hallucinating or not.
I will not confirm, and I will not deny.
She has fallen into the Chef Jayla trap, ladies and gentlemen. Gigi has fallen. You know, some others have fallen deeply too.
Guilty.
And now we've added one to the portion.
Another victim.
Another victim of Chef Jayla.
Another victim.
What happens? It happens. This is how I lure people in.
So I wasn't special. Huh?
No, this is how I lure special people in.
She said no.
No, you're extra special.
I'm extra special?
Extra special.
I'm going to have to ask the other victims.
Listen, you got chicken noodle soup. Nobody but my daughter's ever gotten chicken noodle soup. Ever.
You're going to have a lot of people jealous.
Listen, I took care of you when you were sick. You got sicky soup.
Guys. She made sure. She made it and she made it her mission for me to be here today. She really did.
Listen, I take care of my friends, you know? Take care of my people.
Friends, I just met you. Jesus. No, but yes, I wrote this yesterday, and the reason why I want to share it is because we've been talking about all types of love, and I think it's perfect for it. And then I'll probably give you a little glimpse of the book so that you can go get it. And by the way, I do have the audiobook for it.
Yay! Excuse me, and for those of you, because I know some of my followers have a thing for voices.
Yes, I let them know.
Yeah. She got me beat. I'm just saying, she be doing that really sexy, sexual, jazz. Like, I got it with the voice.
It comes out naturally.
I can't do it. You see, I'm trying. I just want to laugh because I feel real like.
So what is it? SMR?
ASMR? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So yeah.
You put me in, and I give in.
You see, that's not fair. See? we went to an event last week, and my favorite part of the whole event was that it was the men for me. It was the fact that all of the men were like, she's talking about love, like all into it and stuff, you know, like real deep type of like you expect the women to automatically be like, yes, girl, I feel you. Yo, it was the men.
Yeah.
They was like, yo. Yeah, I feel that. Yo, I was like, what is going on? Like, some of those men, they was going through it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They was going through it.
For sure.
I'm just saying.
For sure. Got me blushing.
I'm saying, I saw all the guys, and even when you got off, they were all like, yo, that was deep. I was like, yeah. You good, my man? You good? Need a shot?
Oh my God, I'm blushing.
Felt bad for him.
You know what it is? I every time I give a performance. I'm not your regular writer or poet. People have me categorized as a poet now because obviously it's the poetry collection, but I'm just a writer. I just write, and it's just so I'm not trying to be cocky. It just so happens that it rhymes. You know,
not trying to be cocky.
It rhymes, and I really love taking people into a journey. And my quote that I will be known for is, even if it's not about love, if they can relate, they will connect. And so I always make it an appointed mission for me to, when I write, I'm very selective with the words I use. And that's why I love writing. You can just use, it's such a broad thing. You can use whatever words to actually express what you feel. And so I always want to make sure that people feel what I felt at the time that I wrote it. And so I hope you guys enjoy this one. So here it goes.
All right. I want everybody to hear it because not only that, I'm over here setting up my phone. But I want everybody to hear it so then we could speak a little bit afterwards about how you said you're not just a poet, but a performer. Yeah. I want them to hear first kind of what you sound like, then so they can visualize the rest of it.
Okay.
So
are you gonna go live?
I'm going live. I never go live during my show, which is I don't know why. I should more often. I'm just like getting to that point of like, I got to set it up. There we go. We're on live. Obviously, For the Love of Jayla, we're on live on YouTube. We are live on my IG right now. I'm going to give it a couple seconds just because IG is kind of like laggy. So we can totally get it going, I guess. Chanel Leyva here with us, author, poet of The Things I Never Said. We are live here For the Love of Jayla every Tuesday, 7 p.m. And Chanel, take it away, boo.
Yes. So here we go. I feel like writing about you will give you an importance you don't deserve. But I'd rather tell the world than to be unheard. But talking to you is like talking to the wall. It's like you suddenly become death. It feels like I'm talking to myself. It feels like I'm sitting all alone. You know what I miss the most? The quality in our conversations, the substance in our connection. It all went rushing through the door. I tried to pinpoint when it all happened, and I would never blame you, not you alone. I blame us both for giving up, or getting weary. Well, I don't know, or I'm not sure. If our hearts can speak for us, I wonder what it would say. If our prides left the scene, I wonder what it could save. If our egos will be dismissed, I wonder how more will admit that we're wrong, admit that we need healing, admit that we both hurt each other, admit that we're afraid, admit that there's just things that we just don't say for whatever the reason. Difference of opinions, but if we're willing to know the ins and outs of each other's feelings, loving the right way, not our way, there should be a solution. What is it that we're not seeing? But love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up, it does not behave rudely, it does not seek its own, it is not provoked, thinks no evil, it does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Wow, we've fallen so short. Was our love as unconditional as we claimed it to be? Were we deceiving each other or deceiving ourselves? Because how we love others is a reflection of how we love ourselves. I didn't want to have to write about this. I didn't want to have to write about you. But if our failure is someone else's guide, I hope they can take our lessons and learn from it.
Hey! Yo, you be getting people all up in the feelings and stuff. And that was, you said that's the one that you wrote, right? That
I wrote that yesterday, yeah.
I guess you've just been making new friends. I got you all inspired. I'm just saying.
I will not confirm or deny.
I can't stand you right now. I'm just saying.
That is hilarious.
That was one of the new pieces that Chanel has going on right now. Shout out to everyone in the chat right now. Shout out to Drew. What's up, Soto? What's Gucci? Shout out to everybody here. Jose, Richie. Appreciate y'all for coming through and sticking out through. Chanel's also going to read another piece from her book.
Yes, I will.
Again, the book is called The Things I Never Said. And there's so much going to happen. I'm going to let you read your piece. Then we're going to talk about all the stuff you have coming up with the book. You also have other projects. You have so many fun things going on.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to have you. So we're going to let you do one more piece. Do you know which one you have in mind? You ready?
Oh, of course.
She's like, I already know.
I already know.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to DJ Baby Boricua. What's up? Hi, John. Hi.
Yes. So
I never go on live. I don't know why I don't do it as often as I should. I always say the same thing over and over. Every time I do a live, I'm like, I don't do this often.
I'm like both cameras. I don't know where to look.
You look at either or. How about we put them both at the same place? Boom.
Yeah, like
problem
right
solved,
here.
like right there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at technology.
Much better.
Look at technology. Camera wants both of us.
It's okay. She's the real star.
It's actually The Rock on my shirt.
Oh,
did you not notice that?
I did.
This whole time I was wearing The Rock all day, you know.
That explains.
Certain days, you know, I feel protected. I need my rock.
You need your rock?
I need my rock.
Wow. All right, so here it goes.
All right, ready?
Oh.
Damn, that's how true it was. Almost.
I don't think you guys are ready for this one.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. Well, for this one, I do have to put I have to put a background instrumental because I have to put this.
Okay, you're gonna flow with it. You see,
I'm gonna.
Well, and that's part of what we were talking about earlier. It's part of your experience. Like you said, you're a performer in that sense of. Like you don't come in and you just, set up a mic and that's it. No, you set up a whole vibe. You set up a whole mood, a feeling. I've experienced you in 2 or 3 different settings at this point.
Right.
And I've noticed that you always bring a different element to every setting.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of maybe feel out the vibe pre-game-ish type of, on how you're gonna.
It's a gift. I do have a band. They're called Vibe Nation.
Yes.
And
got a chance to experience them. So they're amazing.
Yes, they are. And so I perform with a live band. It's what I do.
But you also and that's what I'm saying, performance wise, it's like you have in a sense, they're not only your band, but they're also their own opening and kind of closing act.
Right.
Because you kind of have them there for the full experience.
Yes.
So when you get Chanel Leyva, you don't just get I'm going to come in, do my 5-minute read and be out. No, you get a full, you get people in the vibe. You get people in the mood. You're like, okay, something's about to happen. You start seeing and then the music starts flowing and, you get those feels, and then you come in with the,
the voice.
It's going to knock you out for a little bit. I'm going to put you night-night after this.
That's what I really do. That's what I really do. It's so funny because my friends they're always like, your voice is so soothing. Like you could be in the Calm app. They're like, you should be in the Calm app.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Right?
Just tell me a story.
It's because my voice is it's soothing, but I think it's the raspiness that causes it more okay, she's about to go in right now.
All right, so we're ready for our second piece. What is the name of this one?
Aphrodisiacal Contour.
Okay. I don't know how to say real fast.
Aphrodisiacal
Contour.
And I'll explain what that means. So obviously aphrodisiac,
right?
And if you don't know, then look it up. I don't want to go into details.
Uh-huh.
So aphrodisiac, right? It's something very sensual. And then how for people that do makeup, when you're contouring, what are you doing? You're
accentuating features,
right? So it's the two coming together and emphasizing that feeling.
Jesus. It's only Tuesday.
I'm sorry for the single folks. I know. And I'm single myself. So just dive into it. Are you blushing? Are you thirsty? Okay, drink some water before I begin.
I'm parched. I got a little parched.
Yeah, you seem a little nervous.
You got a little parched. You make me nervous with all these love poems and stuff.
I tend to do that. It's my superpower.
It's your superpower?
It is. Are you ready?
Ready. Spaghetti. Wouldn't be me. I'm sorry. She put the Kenny G.
All right, here we go.
I feel like it needs to be louder.
Does it?
Yeah. Here.
Because usually I just leave it in the background.
Right. I got you in the background. I'll be your background band right now.
All right.
Listen, I bet you've never had a band like me. Never.
Wow, she's special.
I'm special. What's up, Mike Medium?
All right, so here it goes.
All right, she's gonna do her reading. Chanel Leyva here on For the Love of Jayla with Jayla. We're on live on YouTube. We're on IG Live. Let's go. Music's playing.
You put me in, and I give in. Our souls intertwine with one another. Your hands make residence in the texture of my skin, fingerprints, and graving yourself in my body. Your lips succeed, causing me to open up and be vulnerable, ready to accept and believe the words you utter. If skin to skin make to become one, we repeat the act over and over. I leave my morals at the door and place my mind on this one thing. But for the moment, I'm yours, and you don't share your soul with no one else. Unwavering trust, because I want to believe that where you took me, no one else has been. Aphrodisiacal contour, you and me.
Whew. Girl, shut girl. See, if you get a little hot for no reason, you don't know what's going on. And this is what happens. You get all the feels when you read The Things I Never Said by Chanel Leyva, who is my special guest today on For the Love of Jayla.
Yes.
And we got a little bit of a new writing that you know, put some work into.
Yes.
We got a little taste from your book that people can go out and buy now. Where can they buy your book?
So right now is out for pre-order only at chanelleyva.com. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll be able to find it on the link, but it will be distributed, but we can't disclose that yet. It's in the works, but the actual release day is February 14th.
That's Valentine's Day.
It is, intentionally too, including the audiobook. So right now it's just on my page, the first edition of it, The Things I Never Said.
So you got part of the things that we were talking about, we got a little bit on the second reading, part of the experience with the music.
Yes.
It's like that's like a little teaser, like a little 2-second teaser, because the real live experience is definitely on a whole nother level. When you have your live band, they're amazing.
They are.
Like,
I love them.
Just they're so sweet. They're humble.
Yes.
They're talented beyond belief.
Super.
Like, it's like I saw the way they manipulated people with their music in like a good way.
It's what we do.
Yeah, like
together.
It was literally like roping people, like, you know, when like you see in the movies that the snake is like, you know, that's what it felt like. It was just like everybody was just gravitating.
Yeah,
like.
and you know what's funny is, it's not even like an intentional thing, but they're Christians too. They play at their church.
That's
so
funny.
I feel like I think we add that little kick to it because of that. Just the gift that's flowing through them, to be able to pull and lure people in with their gifts. And so when we come together, it's definitely a catalyst in a good way.
So talk about a little bit on how you love to, like, you know, you're developing your performances, because like you mentioned, you're not just an artist or a poet or the spoken word artist, you're a performer,
right?
So like obviously you have the live band element, you have other elements as well, like you said, you're doing the audio book. Like, how does that kind of come into the process? Because I know especially now we live in this world with TikTok and Instagram and all these things that kind of make it you gotta in a way find a way to stick out.
Okay, so it's like, how do I stick out?
No, like not even how do you stick out, but like how do you make your performance yours? Like yours in a sense, because you know everybody has a lane. Like for spoken word is kind of like you kind of see it, you know what lane that is, you know what it looks like. Or
usually there's no music for spoken word, so I think for me, I've always and this is not just for performance, but in everything that I do, I always want to give an experience to people. And I think I honestly just learned that between like ministry and stuff. And so really standing out, I feel like when you're authentic, as cliche as this sounds, you will stand out and you will gravitate towards the right crowd. And so for me, I always want to bring excellence.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people lack. Excellence in everything they do. And so when you bring excellence and that's just second nature to you, people will feel that. You don't have to necessarily try. You don't have to try. It just comes naturally with you. And so as far as like performing, obviously just every day trying my best to memorize these pieces, right? Because it's kind of, especially for me, my manager hates me for it. I'm like, I have so many things that I write that it's kind of hard to memorize them. But after I recite them a lot, obviously I pick up on it. But just performing, obviously practicing. But believe it or not, all the performances that you've experienced has been just on the spot. My band and I, we've been so busy individually that we haven't had time to come together and actually rehearse.
Imagine, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that goes to show like your flow and your energy with you and your band and everything.
Yeah,
how they understand, right? How they're connected with you and your words.
Yeah.
It's obviously 8:00. My show ends at 8. Today is actually shout out to the Rick H show, who were our parent show, which we started for the Love of J-Lo with. As a segment, it became this big show. It's actually one of their last episodes, I believe, if not their last, for the Rick H show. So shout out to Rick H, Craze Boogie, the whole squad and everybody for an amazing run and for letting your little girl J-Lo over here be a part of that journey with you guys. I will forever be grateful to you. Shout out to Justin, Clarence, obviously Boogie, Benny, the whole squad that's been there from my start with the show as a guest to a co-host to having my own show and being a part of their greatness and winning a Latin podcast award with the team. So shout out to the Rick H show. I appreciate you guys. Good luck on everything you guys do have coming up. I'm extremely excited and proud of all of you. But before we close out the show, just because we started 5 minutes late, you have 2 options.
Oh, God.
Normally I do both, but you get, because of time, you get to pick one. So
I'm scared.
You either get to pick an affirmation card.
Okay.
Positive affirmations with healthy vibes.
Okay.
Or we get to play a question game, and I have a bowl of magical questions.
I'm a risky person, so I'm gonna go with the questions. I'm not scared.
You're not scared of the questions?
After writing this book, there's nothing to hide.
I mean, it is called The Things I Never Said. And hey, Mozo, since you're in here, just make sure you tell Rick and the boys I sent them a shout out. Shout out to Mozo in the house. You can listen to his podcast as well. Mozo, leave all the info there so they can see that. You already know. All right. So I'm going to ask you. Normally I do 1 or 2. It depends on what the first one is.
Okay.
You want to pick it or you want me to do it?
I want you to do it. So you don't say I cheated.
No, of course not. Okay. This one's easy. I'm going to do 2.
I'm smooth like that.
My first pet.
Oh, a turtle. I love turtles. I have such I love turtles. Save the turtles. It was a turtle. I don't remember the name, but I think I got lost.
You got it just
in an apartment in the Bronx. What a story.
Poor turtle.
What a story.
That was a Ninja Turtle. That's what it was. He went to go get pizza or chopped cheese somewhere.
Such a Bronx tale.
Yeah, such a Bronx. He just went to look for like
Bronx
Splinter. You know, there's rats everywhere. Got confused. Wrong rat.
Yeah.
All right, one more. I don't know if this one's fair.
Shoot it.
No, I don't like it.
No?
It says my first time being drunk.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't really drink like that.
I don't.
So.
I'm a saint.
Okay, I like this one. My first dream that came true.
Wow, that's so deep. My first dream that came true. Meeting you.
She's Dominican, ladies and gentlemen. She is Dominican.
Being on the show was my first dream that came true.
Dominican. By all, listen, it goes to show. It's the men and the females, bro. It doesn't matter who it is. Do it. And I didn't provoke this, ladies and gentlemen. Just let it be shown on camera.
Wow. You're just going to put us on blast like that.
Just like that. Just like that.
You asked, and then you questioned it.
That's what happens, right? Actions have consequences. I tell my daughter all the time. Oh my God. Chanel, tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can get your book, where they can find you, where they can hear your sexy voice. Because you do these often on your IG.
I do.
So tell them where to go.
Yes. Should we pin it there on live? Well, you can follow me at Chanel Leba for those on YouTube. It's the ad is there on the screen. And for those on Instagram, Jayla's about to pin it. Chanel Leba, really, you can follow me everywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Chanel Leba, my page, Chanel Leba, TikTok, Chanel Leba, everywhere, Chanel Leba, and my website included. And then for a Facebook fan page, it's Ruah Poetry. That's RUAHHPOETRY. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with the beautiful Jayla. Thank you for having me here.
And for once, I guess it's because I've gotten some like new people in my life that kind of got me working ahead. I wonder who she is. I wonder. Anywho, so I actually, for the first time, have my guests ready to go for next week. All confirmed. Flyer will be posted tomorrow, so the announcement will be made today, though. Even though I haven't posted the flyer, but I am really, really excited for next week's guest. I feel so blessed. So many like amazing guests back to back, giving me all this life and all this energy. I'm going to have Eli Vasquez. He's done TED Talks. He is formerly known from BuzzFeed and Better Like, and he is just amazing all around. And what he is working on, he even made an announcement today that he got into one of like the biggest LA like writing blocks for like writers and making movies, and like it's just so amazing. I can't wait to chop it up with him. So make sure that you join in next week, same time, same place at For the Love of Jayla on YouTube, on Instagram, on my email at gmail.com, For the Love of Jayla. You can send me questions. Y'all can DM me, but none of dirty emails because I'm with it. Block, not cute. But no, seriously, guys, thanks for joining into another episode For the Love of Jayla next week. Eli Vasquez, I cannot wait to have him here. And thanks you guys so much for joining me. Chanel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I don't know how you're not sick of me already. It was like we've been literally inseparable since the day we met.
We have.
Literally. Even like mom takeover. We even had like a double mommy and me date. Like me and my daughter and her mommy. This is what we do. This is what we do.
That's true.
But thank you so much for being here, being a part of my show.
Thank you for having
good
me.
luck with your book and everything to come. I can't wait to see all the magic happen.
Looking forward to it.
And to all of y'all that said you love my t-shirt, I love it too. He's so hot. My husband, The Rock. Can I say? I just love the man. But thanks, guys. Till next week. Bye. Say bye.